Efficient and innovative are fundamental yet vital capabilities to run the race in the new digital economy. To help you stay ahead of the curve, Abu Dhabi Global Market established its Digital Sandbox, a virtual environment in which fintechs and financial institutions can seamlessly connect, experiment and develop innovative solutions, creating new products and testing their prototypes swiftly. The Digital Sandbox is hosted by ADGM as the regulator, ensuring that all players are checked and approved. Let's take a look at one example. An Abu Dhabi bank wants to explore more efficient ways to provide trade invoice financing to international buyers and sellers. In the current world, if a hotel in Abu Dhabi requires financing to buy some unique goods provided by a small company in Singapore, it would take months of setup and tons of paperwork by the bank, often rendering the transaction commercially unviable. In this example, the ADGM Digital Sandbox assisted Anglo-Gulf Trade Bank to access a global marketplace and select 2 fintechs located in Singapore that met the criteria it was looking for. The first fintech enabled the bank to connect digitally with a seller in Singapore, and the second fintech enabled the bank to connect with the Singapore National Trade Platform. Using the Digital Sandbox, the bank digitally transferred and verified the required test documents instantly, allowing them to confirm that a fully digital trade was possible and preparing the release of funds to the hotel in a matter of minutes. The Digital Sandbox enabled all parties to collaborate in a safe and robust environment, allowing them to harness the potential
under the Capital Market Authority or the sandbox under the central bank. It's going through actually the drafting of the actual new regulation that cater to these new emerging players in the market. So once the regulations are out, and we're going to hear very soon that regulation for payment industry, and that will open up the payment landscape for local and international companies to come and have that platform and framework to operate in Saudi for payments specifically. And then we're going to move into the crowdfunding, the lending, the saving platforms.
Different verticals.
So that's the role of the regulatory sandbox specifically, is to issue regulations and cater to these new services and know how to deal with them from technology perspective, from KYC, from supervision, from reporting, and understanding how they integrate as well with the legacy systems around the banking sector as well, and how banks are coping up in these times where they need to update their services and products. So it's very important to understand that Saudi is very unified when it comes to their approach and the regulation, and therefore it's going to be very easy to go and talk to, for example, Luxembourg or other countries. And we have already been part of a regional working group to understand the regulations and if there's a possibility to pave the path for them.
On some basis.
Sure. So as I said, one of the core pillars that we operate on and we are focusing on is building capabilities. Building capabilities from skills perspective and understanding what are the skills that are required in the market and how we can enhance those skills from early stage. So it's very important to collaborate, and we have already collaborated with the central bank initiatives around building capabilities, the financial sector development program, financial literacy program, and then working closely with universities.
Correct.
Working closely with universities is just the basic thing to do when it comes to innovation and testing and I mean, proving that there is a concept behind all of these projects that are sitting, or research or numbers. So we're focusing on universities and professors at early stage to promote the financial technology and connect the actual numbers that we want to achieve and the problems that we have and put it in front of those talented students. So this is something that we're focusing on, just to bring more ideas and services as well. So yeah, we've done the summer working program, graduate program. We're going to do next year is the University Fintech competition. It's a national competition for all the university projects to have a fintech idea and then improve that idea to be a proof of concept and a product, and hopefully creating startups out of that. So definitely building capabilities is very important around innovation and bringing new ideas into the table.
And that's a good important piece, because you know, one side you have
Fintech Saudi was, as everyone known, launched a year ago by the central bank. The main initiative was to put that emerging industry in the front of all the efforts that is happening around the development of the financial sector. So that's the first step towards the ecosystem development. So Fintech Saudi is looking after the community, and we developed more than 55 partnerships across the stakeholders, whether it's banks, investors, universities, and regulators, and other government entities across Saudi and across the region. So that was the first years to build that ecosystem and the partnerships and the stakeholders, understand what is there and what is needed to be done from an infrastructure perspective, entrepreneurship perspective, and building capabilities perspective. And that was our mission, to set the stones of all of these areas and start working with the Sandbox and the Fintech Lab from the Capital Market Authority and the Central Bank. And as well work closely with the fintech providers, the local startups and the regional and the international startups, to understand what are their services, are these services aligned with the market and the needs of Saudi Arabia, and definitely the